Today, on You're Watching a Movie with Silas Lindenstein, we're talking about the new film Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever.
You're watching a movie with Silas Lindenstein. In the theaters you find this, so go and press play and rewind this. This picture is timeless. Love it like it or we lose it, can't find it. And we ain't keen on being reminded about the film if it isn't tough. We spend a lot of time at the cinema. It's just me and my friends, we watch plenty stuff. For movies, yeah, I've been above. Whether big or they small, no, for me don't make a difference. Love them. You're watching a movie with Silas Lindenstein. In the theaters you find this, so go and press play and rewind this. This picture is timeless. Love it like it or we lose it, can't find it. And we ain't keen on being reminded about the film if it didn't hit. No, gotta lose it. Watch movies with my friends, bringing joy, that's the blueprint. So come on and let's do this. Leave pain behind us and relax your mind. Come watch a movie with Silas. Yeah. Come watch a movie with Silas.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to You're Watching a Movie with Silas Lindenstein. I am your host, Silas Lindenstein. Welcome today. Today, I am minimal spoilers, trying not to really spoil much, but just review the new movie, Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. Okay, before we get into this, real quick, I want you to make sure if you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, double tap, whatever you need to do on whichever way you're watching this so you can see and hear more. So, there you are. So, Black Panther 2, it is the sequel to the original Black Panther movie, which did incredibly well in the box office, highly anticipated what the sequel is going to bring us. And then tragically, the star of Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, died. And they had to rewrite the script and rewrite a lot of what they were going to do to incorporate this, because the decision was made early on not to recast him, which is really, I do know a lot of people in the Black community were very upset because it felt like they would have recast the role if it wasn't a Black man, that they would have continued the story. And though I'm not sure I buy that, because like Princess Leia wasn't recast, and I mean in the Star Wars when she tragically died. So, but then we were like, are we not gonna get a Black Panther movie in full? What are we gonna do? Now is source material for lots of different paths of losing Black Panther and what you can do, who can become the next Black Panther, lots of options. So, but they decided to move forward with the film, and which I do think was a very good idea. And they took some things and they created a new story that I will get into. But first off, let me say, I think they did a great job. This film, it's a PG-13 film, action adventure, 2 hours and 41 minutes. It's written by Ryan Coogler and Joe Robert Cole, directed by Ryan Coogler, who, in fact, did direct the first film. So it's in his nice, loving hands, and I'm glad it was, because he not only did he really continue the kind of themes and storyline of Black Panther, he handled the death of the Black Panther really well. For first couple minutes of the movie, we know that the Black Panther dies of an illness that they couldn't stop, much like Chadwick Boseman died. And then in the movie, we are dealing with the aftermath, the grief of the mother, the brother, the nation, and seeing how they cope with the loss of the protector of Wakanda, the king, a beloved king, is gone, and how they're coping with that. And this had to hit home for the actors, because it was like too real, too soon, right? So returning as most of the Angela Bassett returns as the queen. It is a fine it's a fine, very well acted cast. Angela Bassett, by the way, I gotta put props out to her. She was phenomenal as the queen in there. This is a year of very strong Black queens in the cinema, and I'm really hoping this translates to some Oscar or acting awards for folks. The story: the leaders of the Kingdom of Wakanda fight to protect their nation from invading forces in the wake of King T'Challa's death, while a new threat emerges from the hidden undersea nation of Talokan, ruled by Namor. Now, Namor in the comic books is from Atlantis. So there was sort of a switch into more of a South American descendants living undersea in a way. I'm not going to spoil how, but it created sort of out of that element of conquest by invaders and colonizers, and they found a home undersea to hide from. So they took away Atlantis, which I'm sure some comic book folks are not going to be too happy with, but I think with what they did with it was really interesting and really helped push narratives that you're not hearing enough about in the other Marvel movies. You know, this is a film that actually has meaning. This film is not the average Marvel film. It has a lot of heart to it, and I'll get into that in a little bit here. So about half the movie is the grief, and half the movie is dealing with building up this new villain, big bad, nemesis, Namor, his name. I watched it. They said his name all the time, and it's still hard for me to remember. But the movie split in half, which explains why it's extra long. I think you probably would have cut 40 minutes or so off the film had they not had to deal with this element. Unless they made, you couldn't just make it an all grief movie, right? You have to have a big bad. It's a superhero movie. So, okay, my favorite things about the film: the feel. One, it does not feel like a standard Marvel film. It has so much heart. They take heartfelt moments and lean into them without the traditional Marvel. Like in Marvel films, how you're like about to have a human emotion when you're watching it. Something meaningful happens and it almost hurts, and you have a feelings, and then someone farts or something, or they make a quip or a joke and break the tension. And so that you don't have to totally feels. Well, this movie doesn't do that. They let you have that. The comedy there's comedy, there's funny moments, and those are in the funny moments of it. But here they actually let you experience emotions, which is refreshing. It is so refreshing to see in a Marvel film. Thank you, director, for letting people have emotions and feel them for once. Number 2, the tributes to T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman, are wonderfully done. Minor thing, the opening credits they do in kind of a much one like Stan Lee died. They do a similar thing with the credits. Very touching. And then there is a flashbacks moment during the film reminding us of what some of the stuff he did. And I looked over, my daughter was watching it with me, and she definitely was tearing up, and I was like on the verge, and it's just very touching. Well done. I love that this ended up being a very female centric storyline, because it really centered around the sister, the mother, the lover, the ex-lover of Black Panther, them all dealing with the grief. So, but it was nice, but they were also, and also the warrior, the lead warrior, as they're going through their duties and trying to solve the problem, the big problem of the film. Again, strong women, engaged, thoroughly playing out all the action, doing everything they can, and without it. I mean, it's not really about men, even though like in the back you have Black Panther is sort of they're dealing with that aspect, but it was nice seeing them take the reins. Number 4, I think it exceeded expectations. Because let's face it, Boseman's death made us all a little skeptical about what they were going to do with it. And I think kind of lowered our expectations. I think we were ready for this not to be a great movie without Chadwick. So it ended up being far better than I expected. Not saying the film is perfect. I am definitely not. I have my little gripes, but overall, I think they did a fantastic job. Worst things about the film. There were a couple things that I had slight problems with. Early on, they had some really silly, unnecessary attempted comedy. And I say attempting because it wasn't that funny, but it was clearly jokes and maybe they enjoyed it. But usually the comedy kind of makes sense for the characters, makes sense in that scene. And here they were just kind of being wacky just because I think they probably in writing the script were like, you need some more funny stuff in here. So they just threw in a couple jokes here and there. Number 2, there's a final battle. I'm not going to spoil what it is, except that it hits a point like several movies I've seen lately where, you have these throngs of people that are supposed to be fighting. And then the representation of how many people are there, it gets really confusing. It sometimes seems like there's so few people there for what they set up. Like, I feel like there should be more people on this. If not, how big is your nation? What is this? The final battle just lacked numbers that made sense or for me to understand what's going on. Can we stop doing that? Number 3, it's long. The film is whopping 2 hours and 41 minutes. There's a lot of story there. So don't drink a caffeinated drink that's going to make you use the restroom. Don't do it. Just start dehydrating yourself a little bit before. I can't say that there's a lot they should have cut. They could have cut stuff, but it would have made some things very less impactful and maybe killed some motivation. So I do think they needed it for this story. It was just a lot of story for this. I think this personally would have been a great miniseries in dealing with his death and how they're going to go forward with Black Panther. But they were making a movie. But it would have been a good Disney Plus thing to help us see what's going to happen personally. The lesson of the film, I always like to find a lesson for it. And here's what I came up with. How you handle loss can determine if you are a good guy or a bad guy. So now watch the film and see if that lesson works for you. My final word on this. From the opening credits, we know that we are in safe hands with the director as he pays respect to Boseman's Black Panther. While the film is long, it is full of new action sequences, weapons, and a formidable, well-motivated nemesis. The film had a refreshingly different tone than other Marvel films, as it has moments of heart that it leans into without cracking jokes, finally allowing us to savor the moments of human feeling they create inside of us. This film is a great finish to Marvel's Phase 4. In my verdict for this film, I have 3 options. I have a 3L system. I either love it, like it, or lose it. Love it is that film you tell everyone they must see. You walk out of the film, you text them, they got to see it. It is a great film. Like it, that's a big range. That could be from, I liked it. I didn't hate it. To like, oh my gosh, it was really good. It was good but flawed. And then lose it is I watched it so you don't have to. And I am going to give, after much consideration, Black Panther Wakanda Forever gets a very strong like it. I didn't love it. It had some flaws, but I really liked it. I did like it a lot. I don't know how the critics are around the country are going to feel. I don't know how the fans are going to feel. I'm very excited to see whether I was right or not. I think most people are going to like it. I think you will split some fans in that they think it's too serious, maybe too long. But I think they did an excellent job, especially given the circumstances of making a sequel that you didn't expect to go this way at all. And my hat's off to them. I really hope it does well in the box office. And I'm really looking forward to Black Panther returning in one way or another in future Black Panther films, future offshoots. Because Black Panther was in more non-Black Panther films than he's been in Black Panther films, right? So could show up anywhere. Show up in what? Future Secret Wars, X-Men. Who knows? Who knows where we'll see Black Panther? Or will we? I guess it's a mystery. Until next time, I'm Silas Lindenstein. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching that with me. That's all I got. That's all I got about this film. But again, if you like this, be sure to subscribe on the podcast, or if you want to read my podcast, or read if you want to read this podcast, sort of, if you want to read the review and other reviews that I've done, you can go to the website, you'rewatchingamovie.com. You can go to, you follow my social media, Silas Laughs on Instagram. I post them up there. You can go to the website, listen to the podcast, go to YouTube, go look for You're Watching a Movie with Silas Lindenstein on YouTube and watch videos of movies. There's so many ways. I don't know how you're consuming it right now, but I thank you for doing so. And I thank you for watching a movie with Silas Lindenstein.
You're watching a movie with Silas Lindenstein. In the theaters you find this. So go and press play and rewind this. This feature is timeless. Love it like it or we lose it, can't find it. And we ain't keen on being reminded about the film if it isn't tough. We spend a lot of time at the cinema. It's just me and my friends, we watch plenty stuff. For movies, yeah, I've been above. Whether big or they small, no, for me don't make a difference. Love them. You're watching a movie with Silas Lindenstein. In the theaters you find this. So go and press play and rewind this. This feature is timeless. Love it like it or we lose it, can't find it. And we ain't keen on being reminded about the film if it didn't hit. No, gotta lose it. Watch movies with my friends, bringing joy, that's the blueprint. So come on and let's do this. Leave pain behind us and relax your mind. Come watch a movie with Silas.